Hello and welcome to our webinar series. Today we'll be focusing on payouts and agent payment collections in emerging markets. Let's give folks a couple more minutes and we'll get started. I see there are some folks still trickling in here, so welcome. All right, so this is probably a good time to get started. If you have joined us recently in the last couple of minutes, welcome. This is our second webinar series of the year where we highlight the latest product updates here at dLocal. Today we'll be focusing on payouts and agent payment collections in emerging markets. I'm Danielle Gotkes, Senior VP of Marketing at dLocal, and I have Rodrigo Sanchez-Prendy here with me, our VP of Product.
Hi everyone, welcome and thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, this is actually a rare occasion where both of us are in the same office, as I'm visiting our office in Montevideo, Uruguay. So on the right side of your GoToWebinar control panel, you will see a chat window. Please feel free to enter questions at any point in this webinar. We'll be addressing them throughout our presentation as well as at the end of the webinar. We're shooting for about 45 minutes to an hour, so please feel free to ask questions. We'll be out earlier than expected, probably. All right, so for those of you that may or may not be familiar with dLocal, let me quickly walk you through what we're all about. So at dLocal, we offer a one-platform solution that gives you access to 18 different emerging markets. In order to be able to provide these localized payment options to a variety of consumers that are in these markets that want to be able to buy your goods and services, be it physical goods and services or in digital form. And like I mentioned, we're focusing on emerging markets specifically and currently have access to 18 of those with the ability to add new markets either whenever you tell us you want to enter those markets or as part of our product roadmap. Currently, we tackle about 206 different payment methods, and these are the payment methods that we've identified as really important in these markets, meaning that we cover probably 100% of the different payment methods in the markets that we serve. And 450 different merchants are currently on our platform. Some are just in 1 or 2 countries, others in 4 or 5, and so on. We're a diverse team of about 100 people dispersed throughout the world. Our headquarters are here in Montevideo, Uruguay, where I'm currently at. But we also have local offices in the US, in Brazil, UK, and Israel, as well as having market coverage in 18 different countries, including Argentina, Bolivia, Brazil, Chile, as well as markets in Asia Pacific like India and China, and Eastern Europe. 8 or 9 different markets that we're covering there. And we do this, in order to really provide you this 360 payment technology for emergent markets. It's not just about one market. It's not just about pay-ins or payouts. It's really all-encompassing. Obviously, we are a PCI certified company because we know this is really what it takes to work with you, some of the largest merchants in the world. We have an EU money transfer license, which really allows us to receive and send funds anywhere in Europe. And we have a number of awards that we've won along the way, some of which actually haven't made it to the slide yet. If you're interested, ping us, and we'll share with you what those are. And so, as I mentioned, today our webinar will really be focusing on two different topics, payouts and agent payment collections. And the goal really here is to talk about two different features that are really relevant to companies that are in this sharing or gig economy industries. Because what we've learned over the last year is that their challenges are slightly different than the challenges of merchants who are located in one place and really managing the whole end-to-end selling process. Right? That means you probably have agents that you're dealing with, local agents. You may have freelancers in other countries, perhaps apartment hosts or drivers or distributors of sorts or marketplace sellers. And so your challenges are how to send payments to those in local currency at a mass scale, as well as how to receive payments that they maybe have collected on your behalf while distributing those goods and services locally. And so at this point, this is where I'd like to invite Rodri to walk us through the specifics of these two different feature sets. So let's start with payouts.
Thanks, Danielle. And first of all, yeah, we're glad that you are here in Montevideo with us. And first, to introduce payouts, we want to do a quick poll with you, with all the attendees, to try to see what is your, where are you actually working on in regards of payouts. So I think you can see the poll right now. We'll give you a few seconds to complete it, and then we will move forward.
As we see some results here trickling in, let's give folks a couple of minutes here. So interesting. What we're seeing right now is that most of you are not working with Tipalti or Payoneer, but have an internal system of sorts. 43% at this point are managing payouts internally or through a different provider. Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks. So this gives us a great overview of all of you. So this is great. Thanks for sharing this. So basically, as Danielle was saying, we provide a payout solution that basically gives you the opportunity of sending mass payouts to currently 10 emerging markets, and with the same proposition and differentiation that we have for payments. Without, you don't need really any local infrastructure nor entity in all these emerging markets. We, dLocal, we provide all the solution for you wherever you are. And with our payout solution, you can instantly pay where they are freelancers, sellers, local contractors or agents via bank transfer to more than 200 local banks. And with this, we want to share a bit more with you about this very simple, risk-free and local solution.
Yeah. And Rodri, can you give us an idea of, when you're saying mass payouts, what do we currently handle? Maybe give us an example of a merchant, daily volume, anything to that matter.
Yeah, sure. So in our case, we are seeing one merchant, for example, that they are sending daily up to 4,500 payouts distributed in 4 countries right now. Mm-hmm. And in other cases, in volume, in terms of dollar amounts, we see also daily payouts of up to $3 million for only one merchant. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we are handling payouts massively and through our entire market coverage.
Excellent, thank you.
So here you can see basically our coverage right now for payouts. We are gonna keep expanding our global coverage, but basically in Latin America we are focusing Brazil, Mexico, Argentina, Chile, Colombia, Peru, Bolivia, and Uruguay. And then in Asia, we are right now in India and China. So we talked about that our solution is simple, risk-free, and local. So what do you mean by simple? As Daniel mentioned also, with one integration to our Payouts API, you're going to have instantly a flexible and automatic payout solution for you. Through this simple API, you can start sending payouts instantly, and with any schedule or business need that you may see fit. You can handle your payouts whether you are handling them in real time. For example, if you want to pay your agent right now, or maybe if you are scheduling payouts in a daily, weekly, or monthly basis, with our API, you don't have any issues working that way. In terms of real time, what also gives you is the possibility of tracking each and any of each transaction in real time and get instant notification when there is a change on the payout, if it has been successfully disbursed or not. So you are in constant control all the time with our API. Risk-free. We say risk-free because we, from dLocal, we eliminate all financial, compliance, regulatory risk from any country where we currently operate. We handle all the settlement process from our bank account abroad to the bank account of your agent that you want to send the payout to. No local entity needed from your end. We provide all the infrastructure on each country, and then the currency conversion where you're sending your payouts in dollars or euros, we convert to the country's local currency, so the agent can benefit instantly with their local currency to start spending right when they get the payout. And finally, be truly local. This is kind of one of our core values here at dLocal, is to really be the experts on each market. So what we are giving you is the option to not only scale effortlessly in a global scale. You can expand geographically, add new countries with just one click and with one small change, adding the new countries on our API. But we want to transmit to being local, to using the local currency for all your agents, and being the experts on how we transfer the money. We are constantly working on cutting processing times and having better process and flows with the local banks. So the typical payment window that you have is from the same day for up to 48 hours on a working days.
And what does this window really depend on?
So basically, this window depends on, first, they have local, for example, cutoff times that if you send, we have all the expertise and the data to share with you also. When is the best time to send a payment on each country, and how do banks process each payment on each country? So in that sense, we are managing a lot of information from all the different countries, so it's great to have this expertise on your side.
Would you please walk us through in the next slide here, how does the money flow? For some of us it may sound a little bit complicated, for others not. So
yeah, sure. So what we want to share here is from your bank account up to your agent's bank account entire flow. So if you want, you can start on step 1, when we need to fund basically the payout that is gonna come. So first we receive the funds from you to our bank account, for example, in the UK. We are gonna receive your money. We confirm that as a second step that we have received the money, and at that point you are ready to start processing payouts in all our markets. You can send a payout request via our API on the third step, and then what we do is to on the following step, on step 4, we take basically that money and we distribute to the country where we need the payout sent to. We convert to local currency, and finally, when we have that money on our local bank, we just transfer on step 5 to the bank account of the beneficiary of the agent. Finally, on the 6th and last step, we notify you that all the funds have been received by the agent's bank account and the payout flow has finished.
Excellent. Now, can we spend a second on step number 3 here, on what type of information can be sent through the API? What type of a request?
Sure. So basically what we need is standard information for the payout itself, for example, the amount and the bank details where we need to send this money to. But on the terms of the amount, we want to be very clear that you can send where if you want to pay $10 to your agent in Brazil, you can send them $10 and they will receive the equivalent in reals. They will receive 32 reals. For example, where you want to send them 30 reals, and we're gonna give them 30 reals. So make sure you have the flexibility here to send the payment in whatever method you want, and be sure that the money is gonna find its safe place on your agent's bank account.
All right, so let's chat about what's next in payouts.
Sure. So we are in constant work for having always a better payout solution. So we are optimizing our platform and our infrastructure, where it is from the getting more banks into each country, trying to shorten the payment windows, so agents can receive the money sooner and faster, and also infrastructure improvements in terms of our technological platform and having a more robust infrastructure on each country. This comes along with our geographic expansion that we're always aiming for. We are already in Latin America and in Asia, but we're gonna keep working. We have pay-ins in Eastern Europe. We are gonna have payouts there also. Southeast Asia, it's a great market where the gig economy is expanding really fiercely. So we want to provide a solution for you there. And also we want to start stepping in Africa, a country that we are really excited to be working there with the payouts and also paying solution in the near future. So expect news from our end on these expansions.
And of course, if those countries are on your radar, if you need them sooner than our roadmap, please talk to us, and we'll probably be able to reprioritize things. So this concludes the payouts portion of our webinar, and I'd like to invite questions to see if there's anything else you'd like us to address at this point about our payout solution before we proceed to agent payment collections. If you can see, there is a chat window to the right of your GoToWebinar control panel, so please type questions there. All right, since I'm not seeing any questions coming through, we'll be proceeding to our next topic, agent payment collections. Rodri, back to you.
Thanks, Danielle. So for agent payment collection, we want to keep working on your local agents, where it's that you have direct sellers in these markets, or you have owners of properties that are renting them, or you have agent there, or also ride sharing that is highly expanding across the world. You are all these workers are getting paid from the end consumer, and what we need is we already covered paying the local agent, but now you need to receive those payments from the end customer to the local agent back to you. So that's why we are providing this solution for agent payment collection. So for agent payment collection, what we have in this emerging market, it's basically the same issues that we have for payments. Around 30%, at least 30% of the population prefers to pay with non-credit methods, where they are bank transfer, cash alternative, e-wallets, or such. So we want to tackle this issue right in front, and our solution really tries to focus there. So we not only want to cross the main hurdle of the customer needs to go to the local store, needs to go to the bank and make the payment and everything, but also we have different issues, like it's not an instant payment like with credit cards or anything. There is no digital record with the payment when it's initiated, maybe from the end customer to the local agent. So what we want is to secure that these payments are coming back to you on a safe way, on a fully controlled way from the local agent to you. So in that sense, we propose basically two solutions, sorry, about how we can present this to the local agent, right? What we want to show here is how the first solution, where we basically give the agent the choice of using their payment method that they really want. So basically, the merchant, you can send basically an email to the agent requesting the payment, and then the agent opening a link, they can see our dLocal checkout, where they have all the local payments available. This can be really customized to you. You can choose which payments to show, and then from this checkout, they simply select the payment and then use the final, whether it's a ticket for cash payment, bank transfer, credit card, follow the instructions and make the payment. In the other solution that we have, basically we give the control and the power back to you. You also know your local agents. We can help you decide this, but really there are some cases where you know exactly how you want to get your payment. So basically, in this option, you can just send this user, the agent, just the payment method that you want, and they just skip the local checkout, and they get exactly the payment method with all the payment details. And in that sense, we cover all the same payment methods as we do for paying. So you can receive cash payment methods, bank transfers, or even local credit and debit cards. So we have the entire flexibility to accept any payment here.
So, Rodri, given that we have two different options, right? One where the company really gives the choice to their agent in terms of choosing the payment options that they want around the payment back, versus having the company choose the payment method on behalf of the agent. Are there any best practices, perhaps, that you can share with us, or what we have seen some of our merchants doing?
Yeah, sure. So basically, on a top level, it highly depends on each merchant. We are there to provide all the feedback and assistance. And we know that we work here in 18 markets, so each market has their own their advantages and disadvantages and everything. So, for example, if we take Brazil, Boleto, it's one payment method that is fully recognizable across the board, and it has the flexibility to be paid with cash or through bank transfers. So I would say, for example, in Brazil, a common use case will be to just send the Brazilian boleto, and you get rid of the friction of having the user choosing the payment method. Whereas in Chile, for example, where you have highly used web-based solution for bank transfer, for example, for debit transactions, but also you have people who are underbanked who need a local payment solution with cash, for example, Servipague. So I would say in Chile, for example, to use both to give the user the option of using whether WebPay or Servipague, and in Brazil, for example, just go straight ahead with the solution to showing them and sending them the boleto bancario in Brazil.
Mm-hmm. So it sounds like as a merchant, you're not necessarily have to be married to option 1 or option 2, right? You can customize them by market, and we will be providing the expertise, the local expertise, to help choose the most optimal option for each market.
Totally right. And let me add that also in whether it's solution 1, 2, or whatever you want to use. In this case, we have all the pay methods are available in both solutions. All our pages and flows are mobile responsive, so we are device agnostic. You can use any device you want as the agent and themselves. And then you have the freedom also to send whether it's a link or whether it's a PDF with a ticket. That's also in the case we are seeing both cases. So you have the entire flexibility here. And finally, if you're already using our solution, you know that you can have our dashboard with our metrics and analyzing tools. So you're gonna see everything there. All the reports, all the analytics are in real time appearing on your dashboard. So you have full control of the entire experience.
Mm-hmm. What if a merchant is using an app, for example? Would we be able to work in that capacity?
Of course, we can have the payment collection come from whether it's an email like we showed here, a website, your app, whatever you used to want, we can handle it. Okay, so we talked about these solutions on 18 markets. So you see here, we have the full range of payment methods in Latin America and also in Eastern Europe, Turkey, and then also in China, and coming soon in India. So wait for our news because it's coming also.
Excellent. So this concludes the presentation portion of our webinar, where we've covered two different topics, specifically the payouts feature of dLocal, as well as agent payment collections. And so I'd like to invite questions from the audience, and we already have one question here, but please feel free to submit your questions. We have a lot of time left, so happy to spend it as little or as long as you'd like. So the first question that we have here is, does the time frame of the same day to 48 hours depends on the country, or what are the different factors?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Danielle. So it basically depends on the country and depends on how the banks locally process transactions. We can have up to, we can share this information if you want later on, but basically you can have same-day transactions depending on the country and depending on the cutoff times for each country. For example, in Chile, if you send payments before 11 a.m., you're gonna get that payment, the transaction cleared on the same day. If you do that after that, you're gonna wait for the next day. And so yeah, it highly depends on the country. We have that information. We have we know how to deal with all the different banks. But from same day to 48 hours, it's the usual time frame that we have for all payouts.
Okay. Another question that I'm seeing here is what other payment providers we're currently working with on the payout side?
Yeah, so basically for payouts, so we have the entire, as we said, the bank transfers and everything, but we are working to go the next step to assure a payout solution for underbanked population, where we can go directly with cash and prepaid cards. We are working on those, and we will have soon enough new updates on those. But yeah, but the next step, I think, is going to be covering those segments of the population.
Okay. So another question over here is credit card available for all markets? Not sure if this question pertains to pay-ins or payouts, but perhaps we can cover all of the above.
Yeah, sure. So for right now, for payouts, we don't have any card solution. But yeah, for pay-ins, we have a solution for all markets except right now Eastern Europe, where we only have debit transfers, bank transfers. But then in all the markets, we have credit card solutions, where it's Latin America, China, and coming soon India, Turkey. We have credit card solutions there.
Excellent. And this pertains to both local credit cards as well as international credit cards, debit cards, right? Closed loop, localized kind of closed loop systems, correct?
Yes, that's right. So what we want to, our aim basically is to untap that market of local credit cards while accepting also international credit cards. So you have both pieces of the pie with us. So yeah, it's just keep growing the pie.
Excellent, thank you. One more question regarding prepaid credit cards. Do we have a date for when prepaid credit cards may be available? We probably don't, but thank you for asking. And if this is something that you need, please feel free to email one of us. I'm Danielle at dLocal.com. Rodrigo at dLocal.com. So we can work with you on it if it's high priority. So we're not seeing any more questions from the audience. Let's take another minute, perhaps. Please send questions our way here. And by the way, if you have questions that are not pertaining to payouts or payment collections, those are welcome as well. So I have another question here. How do you work with PSPs like Payoneer and Tipalti? Yes, thank you.
Yeah, so basically we provide the solution for Latin America for those providers. So what we do is we try to get partnerships with payouts providers globally, trying to give them more reach in terms of global coverage, and working on their behalf in some countries. So we are always looking for this kind of solution and partnership to strengthen our payout solution.
Excellent, thank you. All right, one more question from the audience here. What is your payment schedule for the payments via the API? And does the cost depend on the amount, location, etc.?
So as I understand, let's see, for basically for payment collection, first of all, in all cases, there is no clear payment schedule. Everything is sent in real time whenever you want. Let's just clarify that.
And that's market driven, right? This is not a limitation of our platform per se.
Totally. I mean, whenever you want, you have you are able to send payment collection or send payouts in any case. And then the cost. So for payment collection, yeah, it's just a percentage of the transaction itself, of the approved transaction, so that you can talk up with your account manager and everything for all the different pricing for different countries and markets. But yeah, it's gonna be everything a percentage of the transaction.
Okay, so we have one more question from the audience here. Give me 1 second. Trying to interpret the question in a way that makes sense for everyone. So what if somebody wants to test a new payment method? How would that test go, or in a specific country?
Yes. So we are from product team. We are always working on testing new solutions and new payment methods across the board in all payments. So from one end, we have data available to really tell you which is the best payment option and how each one compares to another one. But during the test, we can fully do A/B testing. We can do a controlled ramp up for you if you want. So you can be really assured that you're gonna work with us and finding the best conversion rate and the best metrics. As we said, our fees depend on approved transactions. So conversion and having an effective payment method is key for us and also for you.
Thank you, Rodri. So it looks like this concludes the question portion of our webinar. I'm not seeing any more questions trickling in. So with this in mind, we'd like to thank you for attending our webinar. Please look for more invitations in your inbox, as we're aiming to do these webinars probably on a monthly, if not bi-monthly basis, to give you an idea of what we're working on, some of the latest features that we have released, and so on. Thanks again. We will be sending a recorded version of this webinar in the next few days. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.